Today I want to tell you about a shipyard that existed in the neighborhood that's called Riverside today on the Back River, also located off Highway 17 in Brunswick, Georgia. This shipyard was called the U.S. Maritime Corporation Shipyard, and it functioned during World War I. The Maritime Shipyard was built in 1917. This is a picture or drawing of what the Riverside neighborhood looked like during World War I. It was a big shipyard. You can see the river back there. A.N. Schelander was the general manager, and Thomas Hampton was the superintendent of the United States Maritime Corporation Shipyard. They built several of these type of ships made of wood. They were cargo ships for World War I to help supply the soldiers in Europe fighting. It was a Ferris type design made of wood, or design 1001. Riverside right here, and this is where the shipyard was, right in this area. They had to dredge the back river and fill some of this area in to make the shipyard in 1917. This is also a view of Riverside where the shipyard was. They also built a wharf out here on the back river. They laid pilings down and built a wharf. And they also had train tracks in here too to move around material, and also a train to deliver material to this place. The U.S. Maritime Corporation Shipyard had several buildings. They had offices, warehouses, factory buildings, shipways, which is an area where they build the ship and then they launch it. They also had derricks, which were cranes, heavy equipment of all type that you will see in a shipyard. But this is an example of the type of ship they built at the U.S. Maritime Shipyard in Brunswick on the Back River. The neighborhood now is Riverside, and these are the Ferris style. They had to build these ships in a hurry because we just entered World War I in 1917, and they had to commission shipyards all up and down the coast. They also built 2 tugboats used by the health services during World War I. They used these tugboats to go around to quarantine people when they were sick, or to check on the health status of the soldiers or the government facilities in the shipyard. And these ships, these wooden cargo ships, were steam powered. This is an example of the boarding tugs they built during World War I. This is a restored one, but they were smaller tugboats just used by the health services or for different tasks that a bigger tugboat wouldn't do. This is another map showing you Riverside neighborhood and what the area looked like, where they had the shipyard back in 1917. This was also 2,000 people worked out here at this shipyard during the 1917s, during the war effort. The U.S. Maritime Corporation Shipyard at Back River, now Riverside neighborhood, won an award during World War I for efficiency in man hours by the U.S. Shipping Board. After the war, this land that the shipyard sat on was sold to A.N. Schelander. In 1926, the U.S. Forest Company bought the shipyard and turned it into a creosote plant. Creosote is a chemical that they used to put on wood and other things to treat it, to keep it stopped from rotting. But they eventually found it was cancerous and they had to take it off the market. In 1933, the shipyard was sold to Gulf State Creosote Plant. The shipyard was eventually sold to the Georgia Creosote Company, and they dismantled the plant. And the land sat vacant for years, and eventually it was developed into the Riverside neighborhood which you see today.